Right, so just have to start this off right now saying what the f is happening to cinemas. Like, you go in expecting to have a good time and you're left with nothing but anguish and regret at the amount of people who just can't leave their phones at home, leave their phones on, and just are a general nuisance. But I have a story that transcends the use of mobile phones. And it goes back to last year when I went to see War for the Planet of the Apes. And I was there with my partner, and we were there enjoying it, having a good time, as much as we could, we were really enjoying it. And then there were these two gentlemen behind us who took off their shoes, and then their socks as well. And then proceeded, so we were here, and then they were like, just there, and then they just went, just put their feet right next to me. So I've got feet next to me, and I'm like, so I turn around, obviously, because that's not an acceptable thing to do, is it? Is it, no, audience? No. And I turned around and I was like, can you please not do that? And then he turned around to me in the most Draco Malfoy-esque way, like telling me to pull out my wand or something, and just went, pathetic. And I was just there like,
right, so my worst cinema experience isn't technically my worst cinema experience because it was the best moment of my life, but I assume it may have been bad for other people because it was me being hilarious. It's the best joke I've ever told in my life. Best one ever. I think about it often. So, throw your minds back to a quaint little cinema in deep Wales. It was a dark and stormy night, and we'd gone to watch none other than Cowboys versus Aliens, or Aliens versus Cowboys, whichever one it is.
What the hell is wrong with you?
It was going to be a good time. It was a good time, but this quaint little Welsh cinema, they had their reels confused. So we take our seats, we have our popcorn, we're ready for Cowboys and Aliens, we're ready for some extraterrestrial gun-toting action. Started to play, and it was, it came on, the title screens came up, so well, what's this film? Oh, it was, I forgot if it was Dawn or Rise then. So, it came, right, so we're back. The title cards came up, and it was Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. It was more apery.
more ape action. I can't believe this.
More apery. It was my time to shine. This is where I declared to the room full of 8 people in this quaint Welsh cinema on a dark and stormy night, what's all this monkey business?
I went to uni in Leeds, and there's a cinema there in The Light, which is a good cinema, big screen. I used to go there on my own because I'm a nerd, and that's fine. And I went to see The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, in the middle of the day. It was about 2 o'clock. It had just come out. I was the only person in the entire screen. This is a massive screen.
Sounds like heaven.
It was great. Well, a very unassuming old man sort of shuffled in, sat about 3 rows in front of me, about 10 rows to the right, had a blanket with him, and I thought, oh, that's sweet, isn't it? He's got a blanket, it's a bit cold outside, it's the winter. And then a much younger woman came in and sat next to him. And then she quite openly put the blanket over his lap.
I thought that might be well.
Yep. And then went underneath the blanket and gave him a special treat. So literally...
Wait, what was the special treat?
It was a blowjob. I don't know why. I don't know why he chose The Lord of the Rings, because that film is 3 hours long and he did not last 3 hours. It was The Two Towers. I was flabbergasted because they'd sat so close to me to do this. Obviously, they had made that choice themselves, which is all right. I mean, I don't mind being part of things. It's nice to be involved sometimes. And then they just got up and left, and the film hadn't even started.
You just need somewhere to go.
Yeah, that's the thing that disturbed me the most about it, to be honest. I paid for a ticket and then left.
Do you think they ever saw that movie?
I don't know. I bet he remembers it though. He was quite old, he might be dead now.
Well, honestly, it took a while to sift through which one was the actual worst, because I've been to cinemas after got to see 50 Shades of Grey, and there's a cucumber on the seat. Don't know why that was there. There's been cinemas where I went to see Skyfall, and someone, as the screen was expanding, went, oh, the screen's getting a wide on, right? There's been a lot of weird things
that have happened in the cinema. But by far the most infuriating was earlier this year, and I went to see The Meg, which is an alright Jason Statham movie. And it was a packed cinema. Like, this thing must have made like so much money because it was packed when I saw it. It was like at a 5 p.m. showing. And there was a family behind me who have obviously gone for a nice day out. And the mum, like, wouldn't shut up. After everything that was happening, she was doing the thing where she'd be like, oh, she's not gonna do it, is she? Jason Statham's not gonna do it, is she? Ah! She was doing that, right? And it was really frustrating. That was all the way through. So I had this directly behind me. There was a kid in front of me recording it on Snapchat for a Snapchat story. And you know, it's like when you're at a gig and once you notice that, you can't notice anything else. So I'm essentially watching the movie through her Snapchat story that she keeps recording and then deleting so she gets the perfect one. I don't know what she was trying to get, because she wasn't trying to get the Meg. Maybe she was trying to get Jason Statham's beautiful sculpted face. I don't know, but I was in this situation where I've got this mum of all things behind me. And that's getting so bad that after an hour in the cinema, her son turns to her and goes, "Will you shut up, man?" And then she gets really defensive and she's like, "Hey, what are you on about? Like, you've been talking more than me." And it's like, no, you haven't. You've been shushed by your son. Please be quiet. And the whole thing kind of felt dystopian because the Meg in itself is like this weird, ultra sort of mainstream, trying to dip its fingers in all the pies, bringing as much money as possible thing. Like, it's not a great movie. And then I've got people taking Snapchat stories down there. I've got parents like bellowing things out to behind me. I've got people doing terrible things over there in this crap claustrophobic cinema. And I was like, this is the future. This is the future of cinema. And I don't think I'm ready for it.
Oh Lord, I hate going to the cinema. The only reason that I go is because that's where the new movies are. If they were anywhere else in my home or anywhere other than a room with a bunch of people that I don't know in the dark where they can get away with all sorts of noise and other assortments of bull poop, I would watch them elsewhere. So I just tend to detest the entire thing. But there's everything. There's every time someone's phone's gone off. There's every time someone whispers. There's every time that they treat the cinema as their living room. There's every time they've put their feet up. There's every time they come in late. There's everything. I hate it. I hate everyone who can't just treat it like the art form that it is. And I know that's pretentious, but I don't care. I've paid the money to be there, and I just want to watch it, all nice and peaceful. One of the worst times, and there are millions for these things. One of the worst times was seeing Amazing Spider-Man 2, where a whole troop of people came in really late, like about 7 or 8 people. It was a nice, fairly sort of empty cinema, empty row in front of me. And then it was honestly about an hour and a half into the film, and this whole troop of people came in. Yeah, right. So like, you know, watching Amazing Spider-Man 2, and you know, Gwen Stacy's one of the main characters in it, and if you've read Spider-Man, that you know that Gwen Stacy's going to die, and this was something that assumedly the movie would like to land with some modicum of impact. But yeah, about an hour and a half into the film, building towards one of the big finales involving Gwen Stacy, people came in late and just sat in front of me. Like 7 or 8 people just sat in front of me, and we just continued to like just rustling on popcorn, sort of talking amongst themselves. And I'm like, you're so into the movie that what is even the point of coming in? I don't even know if they were let in by an usher. Not supposed to be. It doesn't matter. The point is, they came in, they sat down, they started watching the movie, making a lot of noise. Got to the bit in Amazing Spider-Man 2 where Gwen falls and Peter goes to catch her and he gets it wrong, and he sort of, the way he catches her is that he involuntarily like sort of snaps her neck. Right. Yeah, big old crack. All of those new people burst out laughing. Just burst out laughing, and just didn't care. Because how would you? How could you? I mean, I'm not saying Amazing Spider-Man 2 is a good movie or anything, but they didn't care. They were just there to make a whole bunch of noise, and it was just, there's no word for it. There's no word for it. I could throw things in like disgusting and ridiculous and all that kind of stuff, but I echo what Ewan said before about the general sort of decorum and the general sort of way, the mentality towards cinema just seems to have changed. Josh talked about someone streaming a film, watching it. Like, what the hell is wrong with you if you're doing that sort of thing? I hate all of them. I hate all of them. Every single one. You right there, actually, maybe not you, but you next to you, yeah, you.
Basically, when I like to go to the cinema late at night because I hate people. So basically, amen. So I went to the cinema late at night, about like a 10:30 showing, and I was thinking, this is great, this little cinema nearby, no one's going to be there 9 times out of 10. You get the odd one, but normally the golden thing for me, people, would be nobody to be there, just me and the big screens. I thought that'd be lovely. Sure enough, rocks up, get the Golden Goose of cinema experiences. Nobody there, just me. Brilliant. Really looking forward to seeing this film. Sat down, got ready to watch it. And then I sort of like, I'm hearing like rustling beneath the sort of soundtrack. I can hear like noises. And I'm thinking maybe it's just because I'm in the cinema by myself. Maybe I'm hearing things. And then I hear like another like a banging noise and a clop of heels, and it got worse and went from like, I think this chair's gonna work quite nicely actually. I hope you pick this up on the microphone. So like it's like a, and then it's like a, and then a, and then this, and then this, and then this, and this, and this, and we all know where this story's going. And this, how did you know the end of the story? So basically this is happening, and then I start hearing these little, not feminine grunts, these were strong male grunts. Ugh. Like, over the top of a cinema, I should point out. Until I get this point. But do you encounter them? Do you go up to them? Do you say like, excuse me, say madam, take it home? Do you know what I mean?
Stay far away.
So, or do you just, I mean, some people might want to go and watch. I don't know, hey, you do what you got to do. I was furious because I wanted to see that film so bad. And I will always associate Peter Quill's opening scene of Guardians of the fucking Galaxy with a couple in the back row of this cinema shacking each other's brains out.